Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump continues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. Better off dead, which I definitely am. Tuesday, September 2nd. It was not a good start to September. I feel like we don't start any month on the right foot for the most part, except January we did with the Ohio State Rose Bowl win. But yeah, yesterday 0-2 on the show. Both of those unders. I mean, it wasn't even close, man. So I apologize. What can you do about it, man? Yeah, we just move on from it. The Mets and Detroit, which I'm going right back to the well today. What do you know? Almost. And then, yeah, that one was just over right away. Both starting pitchers did not have it yesterday. And then the A's St. Louis, first 5 inning under. If you got the under 4 in the first 5 innings, it would have been a push for you on that one at least. The bullpen's actually surprising. I think it was St. Louis's bullpen that actually did terribly yesterday, which is not what you would have expected if one of those bullpens were to be the one to do bad. Whatever, we move on from it. College football. My analysis on the college football game was right. I told you leaned TCU over and TCU over their team total. Yeah, that happened. Bill Belichick not up to a good start with UNC there, which, I mean, I don't think they're going to continue to be that bad, but that was... man, that was crazy. And I just had to laugh at it. We move on to today, man. We basically just have baseball. We have a little bit of WNBA. I'm going to have 2 baseball plays again today, just like yesterday. Don't love the card. We have a couple of teams that are actually off today. Kind of a rare Tuesday off situation, I guess. We have, I think Milwaukee and the Phillies are not playing today for some reason. I'm not really sure why the scheduling is like that, but I'm not really going to question it. WNBA, we got 2 games, and I still do not have a play, unfortunately, for our guy Alex, who was in here a couple days ago and wanted more WNBA stuff. I mean, I'm not going to force anything in the WNBA, but we do have New York at Golden State. Both of these teams are going to need to show up, man. I mean, both of these games are at 10 p.m., too. We have 2 Pacific Coast games tonight, I think. Golden State on a 3-game win streak. They did just beat Indiana, but without Clark, without Cunningham. Golden State above 500, fighting to make a playoff spot. So they definitely have something to play for here. They have the Liberty coming into their house. They got some momentum. They should show up in this game. The Liberty are coming off an ugly loss at Phoenix to start the road trip. So you got to think they're going to be focused too. I mean, they're playing to try to improve their seeding. They don't really want to fall that far behind Atlanta here. The Liberty, in my opinion, I think they're probably still the better team. I mean, they've been dealing with some injuries. So when they're fully healthy, I think they are the better team. And I think they do have most of their players back here, but that was a really bad game against Phoenix. So I think they probably show up and bounce back too. Very difficult game to figure out. Liberty are laying 6.5 with a little bit less juice now on the road. Might have a slight lean to the home underdog there just because that's kind of what I do. And they have a little bit more desperation, I guess you could say. Golden State trying to make the playoffs. And Indiana at Phoenix. Indiana has desperation. They're still without Caitlin Clark. She might be back for the playoffs, assuming they even make the playoffs, which they're on track to be one of the last teams to make the playoffs here, which you got to think that the league might want them to. Even though I know Caitlin Clark gets basically abused by other players and the league seems to not like her, but like the league has to know that she is their most popular player. Indiana coming off that loss to Golden State, like I said, is a third straight road game, though they do have at least one day off in between these two. I think they show up focused here, man. I mean, they're, again, playing almost for their playoff lives at this point to make sure they make the playoffs here. Phoenix on a nice roll right now, 4 straight wins, but they did just blast the New York Liberty at home. That was a huge win for Phoenix. Phoenix is obviously more safe right now. They're going to make the playoffs, even though, of course, they would like to improve their seeding if possible. But, again, I think the situation is more urgent for Indiana here. And Phoenix coming off that huge win over the Liberty might be in a little bit less great of a spot here. So I would lean to Indiana plus the points, although Phoenix is now up from 6.5 to 7 with juice. Man, I mean, go figure. I mean, yes, Indiana is without Clark and, of course, without Cunningham. Clark may come back, like I said, at some point, but not tonight. So, again, do with that information what you want to. Major League Baseball, I have some leans, and I have 2 plays that I'm going to give out here. Let's call it the breakdown this time, man. We're crying. It's the breakdown. That's basically me right now. I mean, I've been on such a bad run, man. I mean, sports gambling, I mean, it's up and down for sure. Like, you have bad runs, but, man, last year was my first losing year since 2015, and now, jobless. I'm trying to bridge the gap here and not be as risky with my money here, so I haven't actually been betting these. I'm giving out the plays as if I were betting them. It's exactly what I would bet if I was doing it. I know it's been a bad run over the last week and a half too, after I was hot for a while in baseball. Baseball, usually one of my best sports, man, but it has not been this season, so might be headed for 2 straight losing years in a row by my tally, which is not great, especially this year. I've only had, I think I've had 3 losing months so far this year, which I guess isn't that great throughout the 8, but still more winning than losing. But March was just so bad that it almost tanked the entire year. It was unbelievable. Let's talk about baseball, man. We have the Dodgers at the Pirates here, LA at Pittsburgh. Both of these teams were actually off yesterday, so we have rested bullpens here. I don't think either bullpen is that good. The Pirates bullpen is actually probably the better of the 2. They are right here slightly based on bullpen ERA. Pittsburgh is returning home from a road trip, and I always say when a team returns home from a road trip, it tends to be a little bit of a difficult spot. You can get distracted by having to return to home life, especially if you're a bad team like Pittsburgh, and you just kind of had a successful road trip for the most part and won on the road trip, had one more win than loss. Pittsburgh, not a good road team, though. They're actually better at home, although a lot of teams are, but Pittsburgh's particularly bad on the road. So that was particularly a particularly decent accomplishment that they actually won that road trip. But yeah, a team returning over a road trip can be distracted, especially a bad team like Pittsburgh that has nothing really left to play for. The Dodgers obviously are playing still to try to win their division, making sure they make the playoffs, etc. But, I mean, it is the Dodgers coming into your place. So Pittsburgh may not totally overlook them here. I mean, this is one of the type of games that I think a team that's out of it would still get up for. I mean, you got the Dodgers coming into your place, man. Dodgers obviously have a huge offensive advantage in this game, though. Pittsburgh, one of the worst offenses in all of baseball, the worst probably. And LA, one of the top offenses. Probably got to give LA the starting pitching edge here as well with Clayton Kershaw on the mound. I mean, of course, he's going to have a lot of weight behind his name because he's a future Hall of Fame pitcher, but he's pitching well this season, too. He's found his way, man, even though I think his stuff is not as good as it once was. At his old age here, 3.06 ERA, 1.15 whip on the season. He's been better on the road, 2.68 ERA. This month, he's allowed 1 or fewer earned runs in all but 1 start, which was at Coors Field, where he allowed 3 earned runs in that one. He's picked up a win in all 5 starts, so he's definitely in good form right now. 1.88 ERA, 19-3 strikeout walk ratio this month, so he's hardly putting anybody on base, allowing few hits as well. His strikeout rate is down, like I said, as an older man here, but he's still finding a way to pitch, with less good stuff at this point. Up against the Pittsburgh Pirates, again, very weak offense. They don't even have a whole lot of history against him. Well, they don't have a whole lot of batters who have faced him before. And Pittsburgh actually, I think they DFA'd Kiner Falefa, and Toronto just picked him up. So some interesting stuff going on here, man. Teams that are in the running trying to bolster their rosters here, especially with the September roster expansions. Definitely makes sense to be picking some of those guys up. Kershaw, again, only 4 Pirates hitters have ever faced him. They do have 74 at-bats off him, though, but 19 strikeouts, 5 walks, 230 average, 603 OPS. So he has done well against Pittsburgh, and half of Pittsburgh's lineup won't even be familiar with him. So Kershaw probably should do well in this game. Carmen Mlodzinski is listed as a starter for the Pirates here. He's basically a converted reliever. 3.86 ERA this year, 1.32 whip. The whip is a little bit high. He's better at home, 2.56 ERA at home. You're probably not going to get a ton of innings out of him. He's probably going to go about 3 innings because that's basically what he has been doing since he's been in the starting rotation. He's pitched well this month, though, with a 22-6 strikeout walk ratio, or over the past month, August, I should say. 2.04 ERA over the past month. So that's all good. When I say this month and it's the beginning of another month, I mean the previous month. So again, and with rested bullpens, even though I don't really love the bullpens, this game is probably an under. It looks like that's where the money is as well. It's flipped from 8.5 juice to the over to 8.5 juice to the under. 57% of tickets on the over, 81% of the cash on the under. So the public slightly in favor of the over here. I mean, it's a Dodger game, so that makes sense. But I think the under is the way to look in this game. Bullpens are rested, so if you want to go full game, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Starting pitching matchup probably makes sense to get you through. But maybe you want to go first 5 innings on it. I think that's fine as well, because then you'll get Mlodzinski probably for the majority of that. And then you only have to deal with Pittsburgh's bullpen for a couple of innings, maybe, at most, I guess, if you do it that way. So first 5 innings under may actually be the best way to play that or the full game under. Mets Detroit, like I said, I will give out a play on that, and you probably already know what it is, almost. Toronto at Cincinnati. I almost gave this one out as a play, man. This one is close to being a play for me. I just worry a little bit about it because both of these teams can hit a little bit. Toronto has the better offense of the two. I'd probably give the bullpen edge to Cincinnati, but it's not strong. They're both kind of mid bullpens. Yeah, Cincinnati's slightly better with an ERA slightly under 4. Toronto slightly above 4. As far as the bullpen usage yesterday, by the way, Toronto, both teams scored 3 runs in the 9th inning, I believe. So Toronto took the lead with 3 runs in the 9th inning. I think they were up 2 after that, and then Cincinnati retook the lead and won in walk-off fashion. Just a brutal loss for Toronto yesterday. I had a lean to Cincinnati in the game yesterday because I liked Hunter Green in the game. So if you went first 5 innings with Cincinnati, that would have been a winner. I'm pretty sure they're up, I believe, 2-1 at that point, or maybe even 2-0. Reds did not use a lot of their bullpen yesterday. So their bullpen rest is a little bit better. They used 4 relievers, but a couple of them didn't really get taxed. Toronto did only use 3, but Toronto actually does not have a lot of guys in their bullpen right now. Toronto's bullpen, they're not looking like they're in good shape for this stretch run, man. I mean, they're not a great bullpen. So that bullpen is really faded. So their bullpen is definitely a bit questionable here. Starting pitching in this one, I don't mind the starting pitching matchup here. I mean, like I said, I was going to have a play in this game. I was considering having a play in this game, and it would be on the under or maybe the under first 5 innings. Got to try to think if you want to exclude the bullpens or not here, because I don't love the bullpens. So first 5 innings might make sense here, but Cincinnati, it is a hitter-friendly ballpark here. But looking at the starting pitching, you got Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays. I mean, he's having a pretty decent season. He's pretty consistent, 3.95 ERA, 1.26 whip, not great, but, I mean, he's solid. He's pretty good on the road, 3.43 road ERA. He's been pretty good this month with an 18-5 strikeout walk ratio, even though I know he has a 4.64 ERA, which is not good, mostly because he got just kind of hit around by Texas for whatever reason. But the rest of his outings have been pretty good. Besides that, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every start going all the way back into July. So this past month, again, I should say, with the August numbers is what I just gave out there. Barrios, really good numbers against Cincinnati and 59 at-bats, 15 strikeouts, 5 walks, 169 batting average. Only one extra base hit allowed, a triple by De La Cruz. 169 average allowed, 438 OPS. So Barrios does have good numbers against Cincinnati. He's going up against Nick Lodolo, who's having a pretty good season for the Reds. 3.22 ERA, 1.04 whip. He's been worse at home, though, so that does worry me about the under here. 4.1 ERA at home. Lodolo, he basically just came back from a blister. He got a blister on his finger in the Cubs start, which was an abbreviated start for him. They had to take him out because of that. And then he just came back in his last start. He drew a pretty difficult draw, having to go to a difficult draw, like getting my blood. He had to go pitch at LA at the Dodgers. He only lasted 4 2/3, gave up 4 earned runs, although they did have 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. That was a game that I expected to go under. I don't know if I gave out the under in that game or not. It did go under, although Lodolo wasn't great in the game, but his command was pretty good. So I actually think that's a decent sign that Lodolo will be back in form here. I mean, the Dodgers are a pretty good offense. Toronto's not as good as the Dodgers, although, yes, they're a good offense, but Toronto doesn't have a whole lot of experience against Lodolo. They only have 14 at-bats against him, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, no extra base hits, 214 average, 527 OPS. So, man, it's tempting. Should I add this play? A lot of times I get caught when I add a play, man. I'm pretty sure the money is agreeing with an under in this one. Let me look at this. We got 55% of tickets on the under, 93% of cash on the under. Total slightly more juice to the 8.5 to the under. The money is coming in on Toronto as well. Cincinnati down from -110 to -106. 65% of tickets on them on Cincinnati, 70% of the cash on Toronto. So the public is off of Toronto now, interestingly, because they still have the better record. Both of these teams obviously have a lot to play for. Toronto trying to hang on to their division. Cincinnati trying to even make the playoffs at this point. So both teams should be motivated here, which sometimes can lend itself to more focused pitching as well. Kind of like how defenses can kind of show up in other sports when it's a big game like that. Interleague games, sometimes there's that unfamiliarity aspect to it where you do want to go under as well. You know what? I'm a glutton for punishment, man. I do like the under in this game. Man. I'm going to take a look real quick. I'm looking at what Action Network has on this. Scott, what's up, man? You know what? Yeah, let's add it. It's close. I mean, it's an anti-public play, it looks like. Again, I really don't like the bullpens, though. You can't get under 9 anymore in the full game. It looks like the 9 might have been out there very briefly. Of course, 9 is a key number in baseball. So if you want to go under full game, I mean, getting the 9 would be a lot better. You can find under first 5 innings, 4.5 at -120. I mean, I don't hate that price. If you want to go first 5 innings under 4, you can do that too. I know it's a hitter-friendly park, but let's just do it. Let's go first 5 innings under the 4.5 at -120. So an early play. It's not that is one of the best bets, but it'll be early. I'll mention it again in the best bet segment. But there you go. What's up, man? Good morning. It is Titty Tuesday, Scott. What's up, man? So we will go under in that game. Let's not have me do it in this next game up because I like the under in this game too, in Cleveland and the Red Sox. And I know I liked it yesterday and it didn't happen. Red Sox got the win yesterday, 6-3, 6-4, whatever it was. 6-4. Red Sox did use Chapman yesterday after he was off for multiple days, but they actually have used him multiple days in a row as well, so I guess he could potentially pitch today. He only threw 5 pitches yesterday. Oh, he actually pitched 2 days in a row. My mistake. I didn't realize that. But he only threw 5 pitches yesterday, so I don't know. The Red Sox have a good bullpen, and it's rested. Cleveland's bullpen is actually pretty good as well. Their bullpen is fairly rested as well. So not terrible there. So this game, I mean, the bullpen situation is all right for an under here. By the way, Cincinnati, Toronto has the better offense of the two. I should probably throw that out there because I just throw out everything I try to do, man. I throw out who has the bullpen advantage, who has the starting pitching advantage, who has the hitting advantage, who has the motivational advantage. Cleveland is out of it. The Red Sox are trying to potentially win their division and make the playoffs any way they can. So the Red Sox have more motivation here. Although Cleveland, I mean, you're probably going to be motivated when you're playing at Fenway against the Red Sox. That's something that will motivate you. Red Sox have the better offense of the two pretty significantly. Cleveland is a terrible offense. Red Sox offense has kind of tailed off a little bit, but they're still somewhere around like a top 10 offense, and they're better at home. Slade Ciccone is pitching for Cleveland. He's had an up and down season. I think this is his first season with Cleveland. I've always kind of liked him. I thought he was kind of an under-the-radar young pitcher with some pretty good stuff. His numbers are all right this year, 4.41 ERA, 1.26 whip. He's better on the road, 3.42 road ERA. And he's been good in his last two starts after he was really shaky early, actually for two starts in July. He was bad against the White Sox in Atlanta, which is not really a good sign. Those are terrible offenses, but he bounced back with good starts against Texas and Tampa Bay. At Texas, which is a pitcher-friendly park against a bad lineup, and then Tampa, not a great lineup, but it's still a good sign that he went 6 innings in each start, gave up 3 or fewer earned runs in each of them, and didn't walk anybody. Had 7 strikeouts. His command numbers have been good over the past month, 20-4 strikeout walk ratio, so that's all pretty good, but a 6.31 ERA is concerning. Giving up too many hits, well over 1 per inning over the month of August. 7 home runs allowed is definitely an issue. He's allowed 20 home runs this year. He's allowing a home run basically every 5 innings, which is not a good sign. So his home run rate, that is kind of a problem. That worries me a little bit here, especially because Fenway Park, I mean, it's a pretty home run friendly park, especially for right-handed pull hitters, as we know. Hitting it over the monster, and also you can hit it right down the right field line towards pesky pole, just like Trevor Story did yesterday in that weird play that bounced off of the right fielder's glove and then off the foul pole, which was originally not ruled a home run, but it was reviewed and ruled a home run, which was correct. I mean, if it bounces out of the fielder's glove and then it goes like over the wall into the stands, that's a home run. So it's the same thing. If it bounces out of his glove and then hits the foul pole, that's also a home run. So they got it correct on review. Red Sox did not have a lot of experience against Ciccone. Only 2 batters have faced him before, and they're 0 for 4 and have not reached base off of him. So very unfamiliar with him. Garrett Crochet is pitching for the Red Sox. He is their ace. I suppose the one concern with Crochet would be that is he throwing too many innings? That's the one thing, because he's still a pretty young guy, and he has not thrown this many innings before. He's almost 30 innings more than the most that he's ever thrown, which was last season. Although he made more starts last year. I think they started abbreviating his starts last year, but the Red Sox are not really doing that because they're trying to make the playoffs here. They're figuring, like, he's basically our ace, man, but he hasn't shown signs of slowing down yet. He's got a 2.4 ERA, 1.06 whip. I mean, he's in the Cy Young conversation here. 2.33 ERA at home. He's really good both home and away. It doesn't really matter. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in all but 1 start going all the way back through the beginning of July. 1 bad start at Houston this month. This month has a 3.19 ERA and a really good 39-4 strikeout walk ratio. I mean, obviously, Crochet is pitching well. We know this. This is a weak Cleveland lineup, and they only have 20 at-bats against him. They only have 2 hits against him. No extra base hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. So it's a 100 average, obviously, and 243 OPS against him. And with the bullpens looking pretty good as well, I like the under in this one, man. Money seems to be very strongly coming that way. 52% of tickets on the over. 98% of the cash on the under. Red Sox are a big favorite here, so hopefully they win, but the money is coming in against them. I don't really want anything to do with a minus 245 favorite here. Red Sox actually moved up on the money line, but it looks like the cash percentage is against them. They're public. But the total dropped from 8.5 to 7.5 juice to the over, which probably means you could still maybe even get an under 8 in this game. Let me see. Am I going to give out 2 plays on the fly here? I think I might. I mean, I like this one too, man. Man, let me see. Total, I mean, dude, sometimes I just have no self-control. Let me see. This is looking like, oh no, I'm looking at Moneyline. Sorry, I'm looking at Action Network real quick. But I pay for this. So I don't really love showing what's behind the paywall. Yeah, they're making it look like this is a very public over here as well, with less of the money coming in on that. You can only get the under 7.5 now, but you can get it at very cheap prices out there. 7 is a key number, so you're still on the right side of 7. With the decent bullpens here in decent shape, you know what? We're going to do that one too. Fuck it. Cleveland Red Sox under 7.5 in the full game. Oh, man, I can't help it. Let me see. What did I just do? Let me just make sure I got the right price on this. You can get it at minus 102, actually, out there. I see it one of the books right now in Mass. So there you go. 2 plays that I'm giving out before I give out the other best bets. So 2 best bets mixed into the regular rundown segment, breakdown segment. There you go. All right. I'm not gonna do any more though. All right. Next up, Miami at Washington. I was correct that Washington won the game yesterday. Alvarez actually made a nice start for them. He had a shutout. I think he went 5 innings in the game, shut Miami out. Big for Washington because they lost a bunch of games in a row. I think they lost 8 or 9 games in a row. And when you win a game like that, to break a loss streak like that, it's almost like you get like a monkey off your back. And it can kind of just help propel you forward because they were playing like a team that just was totally disinterested, know that they're out of it. Both of these teams are out of it, but I think that win is going to give them some actually positive momentum moving forward. So I don't mind Washington actually in this game today. Miami, I believe, used a significant amount of their bullpen because it was a bullpen game, although they have expanded their bullpen. They got a lot of arms in their bullpen right now with the September call-up. So they did use 5 relief pitchers yesterday because it was a bullpen game, so every pitcher they used was a relief pitcher. Washington has a terrible bullpen. They have the worst of the 2 bullpens. They only use 4 relief pitchers. Miami's bullpen isn't that great either, though. Miami does have a slight offensive edge as well, so they do have the edges. I think they have the edge in those 2 departments, but I think Washington has the edge in the starting pitching. Adam Mazur is pitching for the Marlins, or Mazur. I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name. His numbers are not good. 5.59 ERA, 1.45 whip. Looking at his career stats, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. He only pitched last year for San Diego. He's still a young guy, but he had really bad numbers last year with an ERA over 7 and a whip over 1.8. So his numbers are actually better this year. 5.59 ERA and 1.45 whip. But he hasn't shown signs of being very good so far. He does have a 4.5 road ERA this year, but he's only made 2 starts, 1 at home, 1 on the road. The road start was a little bit better last time out. He did have to face Philly and the Mets in those 2 starts, so he faced good lineups. Did hold the Mets to 2 runs in 4 innings, but he didn't go that deep into that start. I don't know what to expect out of him here, man. I'm expecting him to not go terribly deep here. That's what she said. Washington has 3 hitters who have faced him before, and they are 3 for 6 off him. No extra base hits, though. 1 walk, no strikeouts. So I guess do with that information what you will. Cade Cavalli is pitching for Washington. He hasn't been that good either. 5.11 ERA, 1.58 whip. That's not good. He does have a 0 ERA at home, though, which is pretty interesting, but it's in a very small sample. But he's made 2 starts at home, and he hasn't allowed a run over 11 1/3 innings. So that's a pretty decent sign. He's been pretty good at home. Really, his only bad outing was the last time out against the Yankees. He got obliterated, gave up 4 home runs in that game, lasted 2 1/3. He may bounce back from that. I mean, he's given up 4 fewer runs in all the rest of his starts. Didn't have a great start at Kansas City, but still, I mean, he's pitched pretty decently in every start except the Yankees one. Both of those bad starts are on the road. So, again, he's had better performances at home. Miami's never seen Cavalli before, so he has more of an unfamiliarity edge there to some degree. The money's coming in towards Miami, though, which doesn't make sense to me. Washington down from minus 115 to minus 110 on the money line. 70% of tickets on Washington and 66% of the cash over on Miami. So the money coming in on Miami, I would lean to Washington probably in the first 5 innings because you don't want to deal with their bullpen. But I think Cavalli probably has the upper hand over Mazur early in the game would be my guess. That would be my opinion there. Don't really have an opinion on the total in that one. It's a fairly high total, but it dropped a little bit to 9 juice the under, although we have 81% of tickets, 98% of the cash on the over. So some conflicting market signals there. By the way, I did forget to mention the Dodgers are actually down from minus 173 to minus 156 on the money line in their game. 84% of tickets, only 61% of the cash. So the Dodgers are not as heavily favored as you might think over a bad team like Pittsburgh. So the money seems to be grabbing Pittsburgh at the underdog price, and maybe it makes sense. Maybe to grab like a Pittsburgh run line, playing that one to keep it close in a game that you think might be low scoring. So some opinions there as well. Seattle at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got the win yesterday, even though it was a return home spot for them. And Tampa really doesn't have a whole lot to play for. And we know Seattle does. Seattle trying to potentially win their division. They're trying to make sure they make the playoffs. But Tampa returned home, distraction or not, they beat Seattle 10-2 yesterday. I think I mentioned I liked the over in that game yesterday. So I love how I go 0-2 and then some of my leans are correct. I love when that happens. Seattle's pitchers tend to do worse on the road, man. I mean, in this stadium, Steinbrenner Field, Tampa has to play in the Yankees spring training stadium because they don't have a stadium right now because of the hurricane that wrecked it. It's a very hitter-friendly ballpark. Road teams can tend to have some bad pitching performances there, although, that is what happened yesterday. But sometimes Tampa can have struggles there as well. But this is an interesting pitching matchup in this one, man. We didn't see a whole lot of bullpen usage yesterday. Both bullpens are decent. Seattle, Tampa. Tampa only used 2 relief pitchers. Seattle used 3. Seattle has the better offense out of the 2. Tampa has the better bullpen of the 2. So I guess do with that information what you will. But those are some slight advantages on either side there. Starting pitching, I think I probably lean to Tampa on the starting pitching, man, even though Seattle has Brian Wu on the mound. And he is probably my favorite of their starting pitchers, man. He's probably the best of them all. He's got a 2.95 ERA and 0.95 whip. Again, the rare sub-1 whip for a starter with that many innings pitched under his belt. That's pretty rare. He's a little bit worse on the road, though, remember. 3.48 ERA. And again, this is a very home run conducive stadium, so he might not do quite as well here. Both of these starting pitchers did just face these lineups recently, so the lineups are recently familiar with them. They both pitched well, though. Wu picked up a win against Tampa in Seattle, gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. So he had good command in that start, which he's had all of the last month, man. The month of August, he won 4 of his 5 starts, 2.27 ERA, 39-6 strikeout walk ratio. So he's on point right now. He's Wu. I mean, we know he's very consistent, but if there was ever going to be like a spot or like a stadium that he was going to pitch in where he might not do quite as well, it might be something like this. And Tampa actually hits him pretty well, though it's a small 29 at-bat sample. They do have 9 strikeouts and no walks, so his command numbers are still good against them. But he's allowed a 345 batting average to them and 862 OPS, so they have been able to hit him all right, even including that last start that was decent. Drew Rasmussen is pitching for Tampa. He's their best pitcher. He's got a 2.64 ERA, and he's got a 0.98 whip. So both of our starting pitchers here have a below 1 whip. So it's like, does that mean this game is an under? Well, as I'm showing you, I think the starting pitching matchup numbers actually kind of indicate that maybe you should lay off of the under in this game, man, even though it does look like it's an under type of scenario with 2 good bullpens. The bullpens are fairly rested. You got 2 good starting pitchers here. It does look like it has the makings for an under, but I worry about the starting pitching specific matchup numbers, man. Rasmussen, surprisingly, is actually better in this stadium. 2.58 ERA at home. He's been really good all season, man. He's really efficient with his pitches. It looks like they're letting him go more, though, because they had him on a little bit of a leash where I think we're just trying to not burn him out, and they had him going 5-6 innings, and he was on like an 80 pitch count, but it seems like they increased his pitch count to about 90 in his last couple of starts. But he's still pitching well. One of those starts was against the Yankees. He allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings. He's got a 26-3 strikeout walk ratio over the course of August and a 1.53 ERA. He allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every start, actually going all the way back through the beginning of July. Rasmussen, he is in good form right now, man. He does have good numbers against Seattle as well in 52 at-bats, 18-2 strikeout walk ratio, 212 batting average allowed, and 529 OPS. So Rasmussen does have good numbers against Seattle. He does have the advantage of the splits here. So even though the money is coming in at Seattle, they're up from -106 to -110. They got 60% of the cash on them, 68% of tickets on Tampa, the public on Tampa, which I don't even really understand that, even though I know Tampa did win yesterday in a blowout, so Seattle might be pissed about that. But you'd think that the public would be on Seattle because they're the team with the better record. They're the team with something left to play for. I think Tampa is actually a little bit of an under-the-radar team to play out the stretch here. I know they don't have a whole lot left to play for, but playing a good team like Seattle, maybe they will show up. They did show up last night. Tampa, they have a pretty good run differential, actually. So Tampa isn't really as bad as their record looks. So I lean to Tampa in the first 5 innings in this game, man. Like I showed you, I think Rasmussen can outduel Wu here. He has the better of the home road splits there and the better matchup number. So I actually think that might be the way to lean in this game. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with the under, even though I worry about Wu's matchup numbers and the fact that he's not as good on the road, and this stadium might hurt him a little bit. The total dropped from 8.5 to 8, basically. 74% of tickets on the under, 99% of the cash on the under. I don't buy that percentage, but the under, I think, is just a little bit questionable, but I don't disagree with it. I mean, it has most of the makings for an under in this game. So I do still lean that way, but I still think that Tampa first 5 innings might be the better way to actually play that game, in my opinion, even though Seattle will come out pissed off. So I don't really want to deal with any of that either. Anaheim at Kansas City. Anaheim's at a little bit of a disadvantage here because they played yesterday. They had a big divisional series against Houston, and they're traveling up from Houston. It's not a huge amount of travel, but it is going to be the start of a third straight road series for them. We know that Anaheim is out of it. They're coming off a big divisional series against Houston, so they might not really care as much about a series against Kansas City, whereas Kansas City, they probably care. I mean, they're still in the playoff hunt technically, so I think they're still going to show up. Yes, they're coming off a series against Detroit, but they got shut out yesterday, man. I know it was a big divisional series, but Kansas City still has something to play for here, and they're not traveling. They're staying at home, and they had yesterday off, like I said. So Kansas City has a rest advantage. They do have the better bullpen. Anaheim does have the better offense, though. But I like pitching more than I like hitting. So Anaheim didn't use a ton of their bullpen yesterday, but they do have a pretty lousy bullpen nonetheless. And it looks like they might even be going with a bullpen game here. It might be like Medeiros or something like that making the start again here, because it looks like they are undecided. So that's not good either for them. Kansas City has Michael Lorenzen listed as their starter. Not having a great season, 4.62 ERA, 1.35 whip, but I think you probably still want to trust him over what Anaheim is going to do in this game. Lorenzen has a 3.68 home ERA, so he has been good at home. He came back from injury. He was injured for about a month, over a month. Kansas City's actually won his last 5 starts, even though he only picked up a win in one of them. He came back in August, and they kind of eased him back in. He pitched okay in 3 starts in August, and they ramped him up a little bit, and he went 5 innings in his most recent start, but he did have some easy opponents, man. He faced the White Sox twice and Texas, so you might have to dial it back a little bit because those are bad offenses. 15-4 strikeout walk ratio, though, not bad. 4.73 ERA, and the fact that he gave up more hits than innings pitched is not exactly great, though. So Lorenzen, maybe not fully trustworthy here in this one. Up against Anaheim, he has decent numbers against them. It's 62 at-bats, 21-10 strikeout walk ratio, still too many walks, 242 batting average allowed, though, 718 OPS, that's not bad. So overall, I do still lean to Kansas City in this game, but you do have to lay a price for them. The total's 9, so it is expected to be a bit of a higher scoring game here, but I still would trust Lorenzen. He has decent matchup numbers over Anaheim. Kansas City is rested here, so I think that they have the advantage there. They're down from minus 155 to minus 150, though, so it's kind of a price to lay on Kansas City there. You could go run line, but it's a little bit worrisome trying to have a home team that might not bat in the 9th inning, trying to have them overcome like a run line like that, especially a bad offense like Kansas City. So I do worry about that aspect of it, but I do slightly lean to Kansas City in there, and that is still probably the way that I would look to play that game. Maybe a split bet or go -1 run line, so at least if they win by 1, you'll push the bet, or split it half on the -1.5 and half on the money line, so that if they win by 1, you'll actually win a slight amount. Atlanta is at the Cubs. Cubs got the win 7-6 yesterday. Close game there. Cubs have the better offense of the two teams here. I believe they have the better bullpen still, but let me double check that. Yes. Yeah, in ERA, yeah, they do. So the Cubs have a lot of advantages in this game. Better offense, better bullpen, and they have the better starter here. So really, the Cubs have the advantage across the board in this game, man, as far as the matchup is concerned. Bullpen usage-wise, Cubs did use 4 guys out of their bullpen yesterday. They didn't really use their best relievers, I don't think. Or actually, I kind of forget, but they used Savale in long relief. I guess he's on the Cubs now, which I didn't even realize. He's been around, man. So interesting. I guess the White Sox bailed on him. So he got to stay in his house, though. He just went from one Chicago team to the other. He didn't have to move. So that's good for him. Atlanta, they use 4 relief pitchers as well, and their bullpen isn't really as good. So, again, the edge still has to go to the Cubs as far as I'm concerned. Joey Wentz is pitching for Atlanta. His numbers are not great, 4.92 ERA, 1.42 whip. He's been better on the road, 3.02 road ERA. He's been, I don't think he's been good this month, even though he's had 3 of his 5 starts. He's allowed 1 earned run in 3 of the 5 starts. But the starts against good offenses, Milwaukee and the Mets, he did not do well in those starts. He gave up 5 and 6 earned runs in those, and he is facing a good offense here, so I don't think he's going to do well in the start. Overall, over the past month, he has a 4.73 ERA and 18-10 strikeout walk ratio, so his command numbers are not very good. So, again, I don't really think I trust Wentz, even though I know he did go 6 innings in a couple of those starts, but I don't think he's trustworthy. His numbers against the Cubs are pretty bad. In 33 at-bats, it's not a huge sample size, but basically all their hitters have faced him before. 7-8 strikeout walk ratio is really bad. Home runs allowed from Tucker and Turner. 394 bat. It sounds like a comedy duo, Tucker and Turner. 394. It's not who's on first, though. 394 batting average allowed, 1,149 OPS. So Wentz does not have good numbers against the Cubs, and he's going up against Shota Imanaga, who we know is good for the Cubs. 3.08 ERA, 0.93 whip. Again, very good whip on the season. He's a little bit better at home, 2.96 ERA at home. He's been good over the past month, 2.65 ERA, 32-5 strikeout walk ratio. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in 6 straight outings. Over the past 5 outings, he's gone at least 6 1/3. He's gone at least 7 in his past 3 outings, including one against Milwaukee. So he faced one good offense in there, and he's still continuing to pitch well. But surprisingly, his numbers are not good against Atlanta. In 18 at-bats, 4-3 strikeout walk ratio. It is a small sample size, though. Profar does have a home run off him, so I guess Profar, I forgot about him. I guess he's back from his suspension, I guess. Just in time to play out the stretch run on a losing team, baby. 389 batting average allowed and 1,032 OPS. So Imanaga, his numbers are surprisingly bad against Atlanta. But I trust him over Wentz for sure. The Cubs have something to play for, man, because they're trying to make the playoffs here. They're battling. Atlanta doesn't have a whole lot left to play for, although Atlanta, you figure they will still show up for a big series like this against one of the top teams. So I think both teams do have motivation in this game. Maybe a little bit more on the side of the Cubs. The money's coming in against the Cubs, which worries me as well about the Cubs side here, even though that is the way that I lean. I would lean to like a Cubs run line in this one, man. I know the Cubs offense has really been struggling recently, although they did score more runs yesterday. Cubs down from minus 175 to minus 169. 88% of tickets, only 73% of the cash. So the money coming in against the Cubs, crazy. And the money's coming in on the under, which I would not really agree with that either. 67% of tickets on the over, 88% of the cash on the under. Although the total did initially go up from 8 to 8 juice to the over. I would go with an over in this game, man, because both starting pitchers, again, have pretty bad matchup numbers. So that is the way that I would look. The total being at 8 probably means that the weather is not, at least the wind is not blowing out at Wrigley. If the wind was blowing out, you'd probably see a higher total because the wind has a huge effect at Wrigley. But even so, it looks like the weather conditions are kind of like mid-tier weather conditions. So I think the best way to play this game is still the Cubs, though, in my opinion, even though I know the market read doesn't look like it would want to have anything to do with that. I just think they have the advantage basically across the board. So Cubs run line would probably be what I would look to do in that game, the minus 1.5. But I actually lean slightly towards the over on the total in that one. White Sox, Minnesota, I'm going to give out a play on that one as well, so I'll wait on that. A's, St. Louis, I do have a lean on this one, but I know this game really fucked with me yesterday, man. I mean, we had a low-scoring game early in the game, and I'm like, we're on pace right now, man. I think we got into the 4th inning or something with no runs yet. I'm like, we're going to get an under in this one. And then the bullpen's imploded. St. Louis's bullpen, which is the better bullpen, actually imploded. And they didn't even use that many of their relievers, actually. Both bullpens only used 2 relief pitchers, or both teams, I should say. So the bullpens are still rested coming into this one. But the A's bullpen is trash. St. Louis's bullpen is fairly good. St. Louis's offense is not good. The A's offense is good. Neither of these teams have anything left to play for, really. And the starting pitching matchup in this one is interesting. So I do lean to the under in this game, but I don't think I'm going to give out a last-minute play on this one. I just worry. There are too many concerns that I have about this one. I would lean that way, though. So we got our man Luis Severino is back for the A's here. I forgot about him, actually. He's got a 4.82 ERA this year, 1.34 whip. He's the guy that has extreme home road splits, though, man. He's been really bad at the A's AAA stadium that they play in, which is very home run conducive. He has a much better road ERA, 3.17. He's been hurt. So he actually made a decent start on the road at Washington. He had a few decent starts in a row, actually. Almost all of them on the road before he went down. So he was actually pitching a bit better before he went down. And now he hasn't pitched for about a month. And now he's coming back. But he's a veteran, man. He's been around for a while. So a veteran like Severino, pitching on the road here where he does significantly better. I expect him to come out and pitch well in this game, man. I think that's going to be the case here. Veterans that come back from the injured list like this are kind of used to it, and they tend to get pumped up for the game and pitch well, and the team kind of tends to rally a bit around them. St. Louis only has 4 guys who've ever faced him before, only 14 at-bats, so they're not very familiar with him, surprisingly, because he's been around for a while. And he's been in the National League, too. He's allowed a 214 batting average, 767 OPS is slightly high just because Gorman has a home run off him, but whatever. 4-1 strikeout walk ratio. So he's done pretty well against St. Louis. He's going up against Miles Mikolas, who is not exactly a trustworthy pitcher. 5.04 ERA, 1.35 whip. Not great numbers there. He's been better at home, though. Again, these home road splits, both of these guys have significant home road splits that are both in their favors in this game. Mikolas has a 3.57 home ERA this year. Hasn't been great this month, which is one of the hesitations I have with an under in this game. He's got a 6.04 ERA over the past month, although he did face the Dodgers and the Yankees over that span and had to pitch at Tampa. So he had some pretty difficult pitching matchups there. 11-9 strikeout walk ratio, not good, and 6 home runs allowed. He allows way too many home runs, too, so he is concerning. Although he's good at home, and the A's are not familiar with him. The A's only have 5 guys who've seen him before, only 13 at-bats. They don't have any extra base hits off him. 2.2 strikeout walk ratio, but a 154 batting average allowed and 421 OPS. So both starting pitchers have good matchup numbers, so I do still lean to an under in this game. I'm not going to quite give it out as a play, but the money is agreeing with that. 8.5 juice to the over, down to 8.5. 55% of tickets on the over, but 76% of cash on the under. I would probably limit it to the first 5 innings because, again, I just don't know if you could trust, especially the A's bullpen here. So probably first 5 innings under would be the way that I would play this game. And I would also lean to the A's in the first 5 innings. St. Louis down from -122 to -106. 63% of tickets on them. Only 51% of the cash. St. Louis has been playing pretty poor baseball for a while, man. The A's seem to me like they're kind of the more motivated team playing out the stretch because I think they had fewer goals this season, whereas St. Louis started out the season looking like they might be a playoff team, and then they crashed, whereas the A's never even really thought they were going to do anything this year. So I think the A's just can play looser. They have a young core here of guys that are just kind of having some fun at this point. So I like that aspect of it, but I do think Severino should be able to outpitch Mikolas, in my opinion, in this one. Mikolas, there were just way more question marks around him. His recent form isn't good. Severino, extra boost, in my opinion, because he's coming back off the injured list. I think he'll be pumped. And I think he's actually the better of the 2 pitchers generally, too. So slight lean to the A's money line in the first 5 innings as well, which it seems like the money is coming in that direction. Again, it's tempting to give on one of those plays, but there are just some conflicting indicators in that one. Yankees at Houston, of course, this is a big series. I mean, we know both of these teams are fighting for playoff positioning here. These are two good teams. Yankees, although I'm going to complain as a Red Sox fan, the Yankees, of course, coming into a big series against Houston, of course, the Yankees get a rest advantage here. The Yankees did not play yesterday. Yes, they have to travel. They're coming in from Chicago, but not huge travel there. I believe that's the same time zone as well. So not a huge deal for the Yankees there. Houston played yesterday, although they are staying at home. They beat Anaheim yesterday to end that 2-game loss streak that they had. So Houston at least didn't have to travel. Houston has the better of these two bullpens. Yankees have the better offense. Houston only used 3 relief pitchers yesterday, so that's not terrible bullpen usage for Houston. Yankees, their bullpen isn't really that good. Looking at the starting pitching, Max Fried pitching for the Yankees, I think generally he is the better of these two pitchers. Although this is almost looking like it could be a pitching duel perhaps in this game. Fried has a 3.06 ERA, 1.11 whip on the season. He's a little bit worse on the road, though, 3.71 ERA on the road. This past month, he hasn't really been as good, 5.14 ERA, 29-10 strikeout walk ratio. But he only allowed 1 earned run over his last 2 starts against Washington and Boston, even though his team still lost the Boston game. Yay for me. 13 innings pitched. He allowed that 1 earned run over that span. So he seems to be rounding back into form a little bit after he was out of form for a couple of months, really. Concerning with the walk numbers, he did walk 5 guys over those over those 13 innings. That is a bit concerning that his walk number went up. Against the Houston Astros, his numbers are not good. In 97 at bats, 17-4 strikeout walk ratio is good, but 299 batting average allowed and 760 OPS is not good. 3 guys have home runs off him. So Fried might struggle in this one, man. His matchup numbers are not good. He's going up against Framber Valdez for Houston. He's had a good season overall, 3.18 ERA. 1.19 whip is getting a little bit high. He's much better at home, 1.7 ERA at home, so he has the advantage of the home road splits. And just like Fried, he wasn't pitching well for a while. It seemed like he got disrupted after the Astros went on that huge run where I think they won 12, 13 of his starts in a row, and then he lost one close game where he pitched well and just got no run support behind him. And then he was derailed a bit, it seemed like, as his team lost 4 games in a row after that, and he started pitching very poorly. But 3 of those 4 games were on the road against the Red Sox, the Yankees, and Detroit. So, those are difficult matchups, man. So maybe you give him a little bit of a pass for that. Although he had a 5.64 ERA in August, 17-12 strikeout walk ratio. His command was not there. Did bounce back nicely in his most recent start, though, with a 7-inning shutout against Colorado. We know they're a terrible offense, especially on the road, but it's a good sign for Valdez, though, that he bounced back and had a good start, so maybe he is coming back into form here. But he's going to have to face the Yankees here, and his numbers are not good against the Yankees. In 80 at-bats, 21-12 strikeout walk ratio. That's not good. 300 batting average, 829 OPS. 3 of their batters have home runs off him as well. So Valdez may actually struggle in this game as well. The bullpen's maybe not in the greatest of shape here either. So, I actually might even lean towards an over in this game, even though it almost seems too public. Although, 72% of tickets are on the over, 72% of the cash on the under, even though the total went up a little bit from 7.5 to 8. But for some reason, it looks like the money is actually coming in on the under. On the surface, it looks like a pitching duel, but digging into those numbers, I worry a little bit about that, man. I think there could be some runs in this game. But the money also is indicating on the Yankees, unfortunately. They flipped from a plus 100 dog to a minus 112 favorite, and the public is actually slightly leaning towards Houston as the home underdog here, thinking that Houston, I think, has the better record right now, I believe. So maybe that's the public's thinking that this is going to be a close game so that there's then value on taking the home underdog just because it's a toss-up. 52% of tickets on Houston, 56% of cash on the Yankees. Slight lean to the Yankees for me, probably only in the first 5 innings, though, even though I know their bullpen is rested. But I do think the fact that they did rest yesterday is an advantage in the game generally. But again, I would probably lean towards taking their bullpen out of the equation, only going first 5 there. San Francisco at Colorado. These two teams are both playing out the stretch. Colorado, though, if they're going to show up for games, it's probably going to be games like this where a divisional opponent is coming into their place. They also probably want to stave off getting their 100th loss. That would be brutal, man. They probably want to try to get a 40th win before they get an 100th loss. So there's a little bit of an extra psychological motivator there, perhaps. Colorado lost yesterday 8-2, though. I mean, that's obviously not good. I was going to say something else. I'm trying to remember now. I was going to say something else about one of these teams. I think it had to do with Milwaukee, though, because Milwaukee is just not playing today. But Milwaukee, I think they had a lead early in the game. I think it was the first game all season where Milwaukee blew a 4-run lead in the game or something like that. There were a couple of weird things that happened in yesterday's games, and I forget what the other one was. It might have been in the Atlanta-Chicago game. I think there was a big lead blown in this game. Is that what I was thinking of? I don't even know. Yeah, it might have been this game. Atlanta had a 5-1, or excuse me, 6-1, or no, what do they have? No, I can't even do the math right. Yeah, 6-2 lead, actually 6-1 lead going to the bottom of the fifth, and they wound up losing the game. So it was, something to do with that. I think Atlanta, that was the first time I think Atlanta had lost after leading by 4 or more runs as well at some point in the game, something like that. I don't know. I forget what the fuck it was. Anyway, San Francisco, Colorado. I mean, San Francisco obviously has a huge bullpen edge here. They only used 2 relief pitchers yesterday. They have a much better bullpen than Colorado. You're talking about one of the best bullpens against one of the worst. You are talking about 2 really bad offenses. Colorado's actually even worse than San Francisco's, although Colorado's is a little bit better at home. But Logan Webb is pitching for San Francisco, and he's one of their best pitchers. 3.16 ERA, 1.21 whip on the season. He is a little bit worse on the road, 3.53 ERA. I haven't looked at his what his stats are at Coors Field because, Coors Field is a different thing, having to pitch in elevation, but at least he's pitched there before, so he's used to it. He's been good over the last month, 2.51 ERA and a really good 32-3 strikeout walk ratio. He's been in command. His team won 4 of the 5 starts, including pretty good starts against Milwaukee and the Cubs. Gave up 4 earned runs only once against San Diego, 3 earned runs once against the Cubs, and allowed 1 or 0 in the other 3. Numbers against Colorado are good. In 68 at-bats, 13 strikeouts, 1 walk, 191 average allowed, 482 OPS. So Webb basically dominates Colorado. Kyle Freeland is pitching for Colorado. His numbers are not good. I mean, what else is new with Colorado starting pitching? 5.28 ERA, 1.51 whip. He is worse in Coors Field, 6.36 ERA. So he may struggle here. Had a decent start last time out at Houston with 6 innings, allowed 3 earned runs. That's not terrible. He has decent command numbers really over the past month. Not terrible, 23-8 strikeout walk ratio, but a 5.33 ERA. So still not good. I mean, he allowed 5 home runs. Again, he's still not good, obviously. His numbers are mediocre against the Giants in 123 at-bats. They've seen a lot of them. 21-13 strikeout walk ratio is, again, bad. Too many walks, although 7 of them are Flores, who hits him fairly well. 252 batting average and 752 OPS allowed. So the batting average fairly low. OPS getting a little bit on the higher side. Obviously, you're going to have to pay a huge price if you want the Giants here. They're up to minus 213 on the money line, 83% of tickets, only 73% of the cash. Money also on the over a little bit, 63% of tickets and 71% of cash on the over, even though the total is now juiced to under the 10.5. And you are dealing with 2 bad offenses here, man. So I'm not really sure that I love the over here. I think maybe if you make sure that Webb's stats at Coors Field are decent enough, he dominates Colorado, so maybe the way to look at this is to go Colorado under their team total. Might actually be the way to go in this game because it's probably slightly high. I know they're a little bit better offensively at home, but that might be the way to look at that game. Don't really have a strong opinion there at all. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Let's see your man boobs, man. Let me see. My throat is definitely feeling it right now, but I'm battling through and still doing the show, man. I think it's because of the lack of sleep, because I went to 2 concerts, Friday night, Saturday night. That definitely did me in a bit. And I'm going to have to be up. I don't know how late I'm going to be up tonight, but my big NFL fantasy football league is drafting tonight. So I'm going to have to establish the war room in here and get ready for that tonight at I don't know when it is, 7, 8 p.m., something like that. So it's a big night, fantasy football auction style draft now, which I talked about that yesterday. So go check out the show yesterday. I think it's in the chapters. D-Script figured it out. Baltimore at San Diego. San Diego actually lost yesterday, but they were in a return home spot. I talk about those return home spots being difficult. So San Diego, they're in a pretty decent bounce back spot here because when a team returns home from a road trip and they don't do well, a lot of times they'll refocus and bounce back in the next game because that return home spot tends to be a distraction. You got to get back to family life. And then the second game, if you got kind of punched in the mouth in that first game, it kind of wakes you up again and refocuses you. San Diego, of course, is playing for something. They're trying to make the playoffs. They could potentially win their division. Baltimore is just playing out the stretch here. San Diego is also significantly better at home than they are on the road. So that looks decent for San Diego here. San Diego does have the better bullpen, but they actually just lost Adam, probably for the season. Adam got injured yesterday. I forget what the injury was, but it was not good. Let me see here. Ruptured quad tendon. So that's crazy. A ruptured, I guess that's a tendon, I guess, in his upper leg. Is that what that is? I mean, that's crazy. So that's obviously bad. I mean, that means he's going to be out for the season, man. So they're not going to have him for the playoff run. Although San Diego's bullpen is stacked. They have one of the best bullpens in baseball. They did use 4 relief pitchers yesterday, though, but they still have a better bullpen than Baltimore does, although Baltimore's is more rested with only 3 relievers used yesterday, including a long relief man, Ends. So that kind of balances out the bullpens a little bit, although I still think I'd probably give the bullpen edge to San Diego, to be honest. Baltimore has the better offense of the two. Baltimore's got a mediocre offense. San Diego's has actually struggled this year, so I'll give Baltimore a slight offensive edge here. Starting pitching is interesting, man. Tyler Wells is pitching for Baltimore. He hasn't pitched this year. I forgot about him. He's a huge dude. He's 6'8", 260. I mean, this guy, he is a large mound presence, man. So large that the mound might cave in. But his stats, if you look at his stats on his career has been interesting, man. He's 31 years old, and he only started pitching in the majors in 2021. So I'm wondering if maybe he had a delayed start to his major league career because he had injuries. I'm not really sure. So he started pitching in the majors. He's pitched entirely for Baltimore. Started when he was about 27. He was coming out of the bullpen for them. Then they moved him to the starting rotation in 2022, which is where he's been since then. And he's actually been pretty good. His career numbers, 4.06 ERA is not awful, but a 1.05 whip is solid. So that indicates that his ERA actually should probably be better than it is. And he has a pretty solid 3.5 strikeout to walk ratio. Even though he's not a big strikeout pitcher, really fewer than 1 per inning over his career, but he doesn't walk a lot of guys. So he's got pretty good command. So even though his numbers weren't good in 2024, he only made 3 starts and then he got injured and he hasn't been back since. So yes, I know he's a young guy. Maybe he's not totally used to returning from injury, but then again, maybe he is, because I think maybe he had a delayed start to the majors for that reason. But I think he's going to be pumped to return to the majors, man, even though I know he's on a team that's not going anywhere this year. Based on his career numbers, I think he could come out and pitch pretty well in this game. It's a pitcher-friendly park. It's an offense that hasn't done that well this year. Wells, huh? Although San Diego, they only have 13 at-bats in their careers against him, so they haven't seen him very much. Only 5 of their hitters have ever faced him before. They have 5 strikeouts, no extra base hits, no walks. Although they do have a 308 batting average, but only a 615 OPS. So overall, I think Wells has pretty much shut them down. I mean, it's a small sample size. I wouldn't read that much into that, but I do think Wells could come out and pitch well in this one. Curtis, what's up, man? I forget if I said what's up already. I apologize if I did it twice, but if I did, then you get double. Yu Darvish is pitching for San Diego. He's a guy who came back from injury not too long ago after missing most of this season. He's, of course, old at this point. He's 39 now. He just had his birthday not too long ago. Happy birthday, Yu. His numbers, I mean, his ERA doesn't look good this year so far, 5.66, but his whip is 1.11, which again kind of indicates that his ERA is misleadingly high and should be lower than that. He's been good at home, 2.95 ERA at home this year, so he's been much better at home. Over the past month, 24-6 strikeout walk ratio, pretty solid. 4.88 ERA was not that good. He didn't allow more than 4 earned runs in any start. Had a couple of difficult starts at Seattle in his most recent start. Gave up 4 earned runs, but he still had a 3-1 strikeout walk ratio. Only allowed 4 hits in that one in a pitcher-friendly park. So that game, he did better than it looks. His one really bad start this month was at LA, at the Dodgers. I mean, that's a difficult place to pitch. And he didn't pitch particularly well at Arizona either, which again was a difficult place to pitch. He only had 1 home start over that entire stretch, and it was a good one. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed against the Dodgers. So I think he might be able to do well in this game. He's stepping down in class to face this Baltimore offense, and they haven't seen a lot of him. Only 17 at bats. Only 4 of their hitters have seen him before. They only have 1 extra base hit, Gunnar Henderson double, 4 strikeouts, no walks, 234 batting average, 529 OPS. So this is a game, I think I would go under first 5 innings in this game, man. The money came in slightly on San Diego, up from -163 and -166. Like I said, they aren't a bounce back spot. They do have the better bullpen at least. So I think if you go San Diego, full game, maybe run line, maybe makes sense for San Diego here. 60% of tickets, 77% of the cash coming in on them. Although I slightly maybe even lean to Wells in the first 5 innings, though. But I think the better way to look at this, in my opinion, is probably the under. 74% of tickets on the over, 75% of the cash on the over. So basically the over is public. I don't really read into a 1% difference there between the cash and the tickets. The total's just sitting at 8.5. Again, it's a pitcher-friendly park, too. Maybe you could go first 5 innings under if you worry about San Diego's bullpen being a bit used and Baltimore's bullpen not being that good. And that is another way to look in this game. Yeah, I mean, that's what I have to say about that. And then Texas-Arizona to finish this off. Arizona lost yesterday 7-5. This was the game I was thinking of, I think, where Arizona, I think when they were leading by multiple runs in the 8th inning or later, they had not lost a game when that was the case, even though their bullpen sucks. So I don't even know how that's the case. But they wound up losing the game in, I believe, in extra innings, right? Yeah, in 10 innings, so it was brutal. So I was kind of correct about this game. I said Arizona first 5 innings might make sense because I thought they had the starting pitching edge slightly, but I didn't really love Arizona in the full game, and they wound up losing it with their bullpen late in the game. And as you saw, it looked like somebody got injured for Arizona, Gurriel maybe. So that's a kind of a blow for them, man. He had a knee injury yesterday, so that's going to be a blow to Arizona's offense here, man. So that's not great. We know Arizona, they're just playing out the stretch here. They don't have anything left to play for, really, unless they get motivated because, there was a close game yesterday. They want to try to win. Texas is a decent AL team. Texas is trying to make the playoffs, though, so Texas does have motivation here. Texas has the better bullpen. We know Arizona's bullpen is not good and didn't do well last night, and they used 6 relief pitchers last night, too, so that's not great. Although I know we have the expanded bullpens now. Texas only used 3 of theirs, so Texas has the better bullpen, but they might need it because they don't have a pitcher that they've decided on yet. So it looks like Texas might actually go with a bullpen game here. So that's going to be difficult, man. Texas going with a bullpen game, but it might actually be better than Arizona going with Nabil Crismatt here. Crismatt. I mean, I still don't trust him, man. Looking at his career numbers, they're not very good. 1.84 ERA this year is good, but 1.36 whip is not good. He has a 0 ERA at home, but it's a really small sample size. He's made 1 start at home. He did put a lot of guys on base, walked 3 guys, gave up 4 hits in 4 innings in that one against Cincinnati and just got away with it. Didn't give up any runs, but overall an 11-5 strikeout walk ratio in 14 2/3 innings. Doesn't seem sustainable to me. Like, I don't think he can continue to do that and not give up runs. He's basically a converted reliever, too, so I don't trust him. His numbers are bad against Texas, and only 5 of their hitters have faced him before. Merrill Kelly even has a walk against him, and Patrick Corbin actually is listed there as well as 0 for 1. So those are pitchers. They're not going to face him. So really only 3 Texas bats have ever seen him before. But overall, the team's 4 for 7 off him with a home run from Tellez. Peterson has done a lot of damage, too, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. Overall, 571 average, 1,952 OPS, 1 strikeout and 2 walks, if you include the Merrill Kelly walk, which is absurd. So I don't expect him to do well. I don't know what's going to go on with this Texas bullpen situation here. I mean, I'm thinking maybe an over in this game because it looks like the pitching situation just isn't great on either side here. Total's at 9.5, now juiced to the under. If you can get an over 9, that would probably be the way that I would lean in that game. Because 9 is a key number in baseball, of course. So, yeah, I mean, this looks ugly to me, man. And the money line dropped from -130 to -110 on Arizona, despite Texas not even having a starting pitcher declared. It looks like some of the money is coming in towards Texas. Go figure. Let's go to the best bets, man, and then I'll get out of here. This video won't be as long as some of the other ones. I did already give out 2 on the fly during the show, so we already have 2 unders that I gave out on the show. I gave out Toronto, Cincinnati, first 5 innings, under 4.5 at -120 was my preferred way of doing it based on what I saw out there from the Massachusetts books. And Cleveland, Boston, under the 7.5, so I gave out those 2. We're going to give out another under here, which you already basically know. And I'm going right back to what I did yesterday. Mets, Tigers, we're going under. This time we're going to do it in the first 5. Under the 4.5. I saw it there at even money. That's how we're going to play this one. Again, I think the market is agreeing with this. Oh, my mistake here. If we can get back to this here. Come on, man. This takes forever to load. The market read on this one, 79% of the cash on the over in this one, and 53%, or 79% of tickets, excuse me, and 53% of the cash on the under. So money is coming in on the under in this one. The total's dropped a little bit from 8.5. It's just less juice on the over 8.5. If you want to go full game, you could, but we're looking at 2 mediocre bullpens. The bullpens got kind of used yesterday, man. Detroit used 4 of their relievers yesterday. The Mets, I think, have the slightly better bullpen. They used almost everybody out of their bullpen yesterday, so I don't want to include the bullpens in this one, man. I'm just going to leave them out of the equation. Yes, both offenses are fairly good as well, so we're just going to focus on the starting pitching matchup in this one here and try to not get screwed, although even that would have failed for us yesterday because we were pretty much dead right away in that game yesterday. But, yeah, as far as the bullpens, yeah, they're mid-tier bullpens with ERAs around 4. Starting pitching, that's where I like this. I like the edge that we have in the starting pitching. We have 2 really young pitchers here that are not that familiar with the opposing lineups in an interleague game, so I think that lends itself to an under, man. Our man, Nolan McLean, is pitching for the Mets. Let's keep our Nolan McLean streak going, man, because I've given out an under in the first 5 on one of his starts against Seattle, and I gave out Mets run line / money line play in one of his other starts against Philadelphia, I believe, and we got them both right. So let's keep that up, man. Nolan McLean, he's in his rookie season here. He's got a .89 ERA and .69 whip so far. I know that's unsustainably good, but he's good, man. I mean, he's got a 21-4 strikeout walk ratio across his 3 starts so far. He just faced Philadelphia, which you kind of had to worry maybe a little bit that stepping up in class to face a really good offense was going to be maybe a struggle for him, and it was not. He dominated them. 8 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. Excellent. 4 hits allowed, no walks. All of his walks came in the first start, too, so he hasn't walked anybody in his last 15 innings pitched. He's pitching really, really, really well right now. Again, I mean, he can't really continue to pitch that well. That was a huge divisional game, so it might be a little bit of a letdown component, but he's thrown over 90 pitches in every one of his outings. So that tells me that they trust him. They're just letting him go, man. He is one of their top prospects, and he's living up to the hype so far. And, of course, Detroit has never faced him before, so I think that's one of McLean's advantages that he's had so far is that he's unfamiliar to these opposing offenses, so they have to kind of figure him out while they're trying to face him, and usually that causes the offenses to struggle a bit. So I like McLean here again here, man. I don't see any reason not to. Don't want to eat my words here. And then we have Sawyer Gibson Long getting the start for Detroit. And another reason to go first 5 here is because you don't know how Gibson Long he's going to go into this game, man, because sometimes they limit his pitch count. He's been a reliever for a bit as well. He's an interesting case, man. He's just not been healthy. That's really been the issue with him. He's a really talented, still fairly young pitcher, but I think his career has just kind of been derailed by injuries. He made 4 starts for Detroit in 2023 and was good. Had a 2.7 ERA and 1.1 whip. Solid stuff. More strikeouts than innings pitched, 3.3 strikeout walk ratio. He was good. This season, he has a 4.32 ERA, which doesn't look that great, but a 1.04 whip is pretty good in limited playing time. basically he's been in the bullpen, and he's made, I believe, 2 starts so far as well, which were in June. So the way that it's happened is he started out in the bullpen because they eased him back in when he was coming back from injury. I think he had 3 bullpen appearances. Then they let him start 2 starts where he went 6 1/3 and 5 1/3. Didn't do great, but didn't do horribly in those starts. He did have an 8-2 strikeout walk ratio. Allowed 4 earned runs, but on 3 home runs at Tampa. And I've told you how hitter-friendly that ballpark is. So I might give him a little bit of a pass for that. He didn't do well against Minnesota, which isn't exactly a great sign. 3 earned runs, a lot of 5 1/3 innings, but didn't put a ton of guys on base really in that one. So I think he's still a little bit better than he looks. And then he got hurt again, I believe. Or he was sent down to the minors. I'm not even sure. And since then, he's come back. He made 1 appearance in mid-August. He came out of the bullpen, I'm pretty sure. 2 scoreless innings against the White Sox. I mean, nothing to really read into that, really, but it does show you that he was in control of his stuff. He had 2 strikeouts, no walks, only allowed 1 hit. Pretty much almost a clean sheet there. So that's a good sign. And now they're trusting him with another start here. So that's good. And going first 5 innings again, then it won't matter how deep he goes into the game, really. As long as he gets us through the majority of the first 5 innings, I think we could do okay in this game, man. And the Mets have basically never seen him before. Only Mullins has ever faced him before, and he's 0 for 2 off him. So I think the starting pitching matchup, we have talented young pitchers here, man. Gibson Long is the bigger question mark here. But I think that's the approach in this game, man, is to go under in the first 5. So that is one of the top 2 plays that I'm giving out today. The 2 that I gave out on the fly are plays that I like a little bit less, obviously. But and if you're looking at the side, the money is coming towards Detroit, which is interesting. Mets down from -130 to -126. Of course, both of these teams have something to play for. They're both fighting for playoff positioning. Mets a little bit more desperate, I would say. But the money coming out of Detroit, 59% of tickets on the Mets, 70% of the cash coming out of Detroit. So the public kind of is buying into McClain now. I think they're kind of on that hype train now, the McTrain, and they're kind of ignoring Gibson Long. So maybe that's kind of the reason there that some of the professional money is taking a shot with the underdog with Detroit here. And Detroit is good at home too, so remember that. So they do have that kind of built-in advantage there as well. So I could kind of see some reasons for that, but I like that because that kind of means that the professionals trust Gibson Long a bit, and I think he's the harder of the 2 starters to trust right now. So I like that as far as our under is concerned as well. And then, like I said, we did have, I already mentioned it, but Toronto, Cincinnati, first 5 under. Cleveland and Boston, under the 7.5. And then to finish it off, we'll go over. I know I don't have any sides today, but it's the way that it is. I'm going to go over, and I know this is a matchup with 2 bad offenses, but I think the pitching is even worse in this one. White Sox, Twins, over the total. This is fairly ugly, man, in my opinion. The bullpens are also not good. Neither bullpen is good. And the White Sox used almost everybody yesterday because I think they had a bullpen game. My man Cam Boozer is on the White Sox. He was on the Red Sox last year. He's an interesting case, man, where he's kind of like a movie situation where he's just kind of an aging dude. He's battled like drug addiction throughout his career, never really made it in the majors, and then finally, like, kind of got a chance with the Red Sox. I think he made his major league debut with the Red Sox coming out of the bullpen, like, in his 30s or something like that. So, kind of an interesting scenario with him. I like the guy. I do like him. I'm kind of upset that he's not on the Red Sox, although he wasn't great with them. But, yeah, there he is. He's in the White Sox bullpen. But anyway, the White Sox bullpen is pretty used up right now, man. So, that's not a good sign. They're not even a good bullpen anyway. Minnesota's bullpen is also not very good, and they used 4 relief pitchers yesterday as well. So, pretty untrustworthy bullpens here. I know we have a bad offense with the White Sox. Minnesota's isn't that good either, but I think we can see some runs here, man. These teams also don't really have a whole lot to play for. So sometimes when that happens, and if you think the starting pitching is going to be out of the game somewhat early and the bullpens have to come in even earlier, that kind of just cascades, and maybe sometimes the offense is just going to show up and have a little bit of fun. Could be the case here. Teams maybe taking this a little bit less seriously, even though I know it is a divisional game. Davis Martin is pitching for the White Sox. I've said he's not that bad, which he isn't. 4.03 ERA, 1.28 whip on the season. But he is worse on the road, so we have that split in our favor. 4.58 ERA on the road, and he has not been good over the past month. 4.74 ERA. 22-12 strikeout walk ratio. That's not a good sign. It's 7 home runs allowed. he hasn't been pitching well, and Minnesota just saw him 2 starts ago, so he is very familiar to them right now. He pitched okay in that start at home, gave up 2 earned runs in 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, and then he got blasted by the Yankees in his most recent start. 3 walks in that one, a couple home runs allowed, 3 earned runs allowed, and 3 2/3. Threw way too many pitches. I mean, he's not going that deep into most of these outings. 5 strikeouts as well in that one. So Minnesota just saw him, and they have decent numbers off him anyway in 41 at-bats, 11-7 strikeout walk ratio, 3 home runs from 3 different batters, 268 average isn't that high, but an 887 OPS is pretty high. So I think Martin could give up some runs here, and he's going up against another untrustworthy pitcher, Simeon Woods Richardson, 4.59 ERA, 1.42 whip this year. He had some good numbers in his past couple of seasons, especially last year, but he's never really had great stuff. So I think some of it was just that offenses hadn't really seen him before. And this year he's been up and down between the minors. Hasn't been a great season for him, although yes, he is good at home, 3.4 ERA at home. So we are going against that one split, but he has not been good recently, man. He was back in the minors after the end of July. He actually was not good. He had a 17-13 strikeout walk ratio in July, even though he had a 3.22 ERA. He was just getting away with putting way too many guys on base. He's actually not even gone 5 innings in his last 4 outings. So that means we're probably going to see the Twins bullpen in this game pretty early. And then they brought him back into the starting rotation to face Toronto his last time out, and he did not do well. He went 3 2/3, allowed 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So he's not in good form right now. Neither of these pitchers are. White Sox, small sample size against him, 15 at-bats, but they do have a 400 average off him and 904 OPS. So do with that information what you will, but I expect the pitchers to kind of struggle here. I expect the bullpens to make an early entrance in this game. Of course, you want to find the over 9. 9 is a key number in baseball. This thing is shooting up, man. This thing is going towards 9.5. So, I mean, 9.5 is certainly not, I mean, you're not getting on the key number of 9. So I would go maybe even up to about 9 at minus 120 over the 9. Maybe still go the over 9.5. I do like the over here, but it's definitely less tempting to do it at 9.5. Again, 9, a key number. If you have a 4-4 tie, that's what breaks it. 81% of tickets are on the over and 97% of the cash on the over. Surprisingly, the over is public in this game. I don't see what public better would come in and want to go, White Sox Twins, and want to go over in this game because these offenses aren't good. But do with that what you will, but I think it's mostly professional money. It seems like it is in agreement with me on this. Minnesota also dropped on the money line for what it's worth from minus 150 to minus 145. 61% of tickets, 75% of cash coming in on the White Sox. So maybe some more trust in Davis Martin there. If I was going to go with the White Sox, it would have to be first 5 innings because I don't think you can trust their bullpen at all. So especially in the lack of rest situation that they're in. So that's going to do it, man. Curtis, what's up, man? Clinch a playoff spot? I don't know. We can look. Milwaukee would be the first team to do it right now because they have the best record in baseball. But let's see here. It looks like no. Colorado was eliminated. That's the only thing that's happened so far is Colorado is mathematically eliminated. Shocking, I know. But Milwaukee has not clinched a playoff spot yet. Well, of course, they can't really because it's still mathematically possible they lose the division and then it becomes a wild card battle. So there are enough teams close enough behind them that there's no mathematically none of these teams can possibly do it yet. There's still a month left. So, I mean, mathematically you're talking about like if this team loses 30 games in a row and another team wins 30 games in a row, you know what I mean? Like it's still a mathematic possibility. So you won't see teams clinching a playoff spot yet. Yeah, the Rockies are like having a historically bad season that might even be worse than the White Sox season last year. Although they've had some moments this year, though, where they have some decent young hitters on that team. They have some pitchers that would probably be actually not horrible if they didn't have to pitch at Coors Field. It's just a bad situation. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but my plays one more time. We have first 5 under, Mets, Tigers. First 5 under, Blue Jays, Reds. Full game under, Indians, Red Sox. I'm going to still call them the Indians. And over in the full game, White Sox, Twins. That's going to do it, man. Let's get some wins today. Not Tower Gang Toad. What am I saying? Learn to Toad on Twitter. Holy crap. Learn to Toad on Twitter, and Learn to Toad on Instagram, where I post the short form betting content. Better Off Dead, like, subscribe to the channel, man. Help out the YouTube channel. We're gaining we're gaining subscribers a bit, so hopefully we continue to do that. Thank you, sir. It'll be better if I start giving out winning plays. It's not been good recently, but yeah, I mean, it sucks because it's like most of the time that I've done the show, I've been bad, but I was really hot when I first started doing the show. Maybe I should stop doing the show. It's been bad juju, man. But yeah, Covered in Uke is my Uke channel, so you can check that out too on YouTube. Also, Better Off Dead is on the audio platform, so you can give me a good review over there on Apple and Spotify. And patreon.com/learntotode. Extra Uke content and stuff there. That's going to do it. Have a good one, everybody, and peace. Happy Tuesday.